Okay, it's definitely been a while since I've made a video. Had a very positive response for the cheap vegan food video that I made. I went ahead and posted it on Reddit. Ended up having many thousands of views and several upvotes and a very positive response. During the video, I said that I would make a ramen dish that I like to eat, and then of course life happened. And that was a couple of weeks, quite a few weeks ago, so I'm going to go ahead and follow up with the ramen video. Now this is a ramen noodle video that uses the ramen noodles as a base for a drier dish. So the water that's in the ramen is not going to be used in the dish. But I'm going to show step by step how I make this. I actually, when I first invented this, I called it Rich Man Spaghetti because I tallied up the cost and found it to actually be more expensive than some of the spaghetti noodles that could have been used. But this is not something for spaghetti noodles, though. This is when I talked about this on forum, someone said I explained how to make it, how to make the food and the whole process, everything, and then they said negatively, "Oh, stoner food." So I wouldn't consider it stoner food, but maybe closer to college food. Like this is something that would probably be easy for a college kid to make. So, ramen noodles. Okay, so the first ingredient, of course, is ramen noodles. Now, I used to get the chili ramen. It was vegan or plant-based, whatever you want to call it. The packets were really good and hot and spicy. And sometimes I'd use the packets in this same recipe. This is a very flexible recipe. This is something you are meant to customize and curtail to your preferences. This isn't too strict. Okay, but these ramen noodles have a chicken flavor packet that is not vegan, so you need to discard the chicken packet. We also have Hellmann's plant-based mayo, which is my favorite mayonnaise. It's not too expensive, and it kind of tastes like a hybrid between Miracle Whip and Hellmann's. It is, in my opinion, the best tasting mayonnaise I've ever had. I prefer it over any of the other mayonnaise that I've had. And I've also made my own mayonnaise using inversion emulsion. What are they called? A blender, a stick blender, right, that you stick down in something. And I've had varying degrees of results with that. It's not as easy as it looks, but it can be a lot of fun to make your own toppings and your own sauces and stuff. So I'd recommend experimenting with that. And it's not too expensive. It uses oil and milk and some seasonings. And you get to, again, curtail that to your taste. So suppose you like kind of a tart sourness, you can add some dill weed, or if you like it to be a little salty and garlicky, you can throw in some garlic powder and some sea salt and stuff. So you can actually make your own mayonnaise. Black salt will add the eggy flavor that you might have a hard time achieving if you like the taste of original mayonnaise. But you don't want to make it, don't want to deal with it. It's easy to get. Hellmann's plant-based mayo. And I add Mrs. Renfro's ghost pepper salsa. Now I don't know why, but recently our city has gone through a wave of dehotifying everything. Now I eat super hot peppers all the time. I'm not trying to prove anything. One time my oldest daughter said, snootily, that the only reason I ate hot peppers was I was trying to prove something. And my answer to her was, I eat alone. Okay, so I'm not eating hot peppers to try to prove anything to anyone. No one is ever around me when I eat for me to prove anything to. I love the taste and the feel of hot peppers, and I know that they're healthy. And so you don't like ghost peppers, you don't have to add this, but I do recommend some kind of salsa, some type of peppers, flavorings. It's good, it helps. This is Better Goods plant-based cheddar. It is a cashew cheese alternative. I recommend it. It's available at most Walmarts. I've seen it some places, and it's delicious. It just tastes very much, almost exactly the same as cheddar. They also have mozzarella. They have combination. I've even seen giant bags of Colby Jack and stuff like that from other larger cities. So yeah, this stuff's super good. And the point I was making there, dehotifying my city, is none of the places that I buy hot stuff from has it anymore. So this ghost pepper salsa actually had to be shipped from a different Walmart, and which is okay. It got here, you know, 1 day later. And the Needlers that's near where I live used to have 2 or 3 different hot salsas, and I think they even had some Mrs. Renfro's, and now they only have one. They have one hot salsa. I think it was Pace. It was like Pace Hot Picante, which isn't very hot, honestly. It's okay, but it's a little bit loose, and it's not super hot. This stuff is good. I recommend Mrs. Renfro's Ghost Pepper Salsa. Now, I'm not eating this stuff, you know, with chips or, you know, as a dip or something. This is going to be thinned and not as explosively hot because it's mixed with other things. We have some shredded iceberg lettuce. If you want to use salad mix, that's fine. I've used salad mix before, and that's really, really good. So this is just, it adds some crunchiness to the overall. It kind of just diversifies the overall effect. This, without you, if you omit it, which is also fine, you're going to end up with a thicker and smoother concoction. I have a small amount of burrito mix. The burrito mix I made in the last video, the cheap vegan food video, is what I normally use. This is a different one because I was out of the Gardein vegan chili that I usually use. So in this one it's black beans and a hot diced tomato with peppers and rice. So instead of the vegan Gardein chili, it's black beans. And so I also put some seasoned crumbles in there. I think it was Gardein crumbles with a whole bunch of seasonings, you know, just a whole bunch of taco seasonings. The smell and flavor that people widely recognize as a taco or burrito flavoring is cumin. So if you're going to add some salt and pepper and some garlic powder and onion powder, I use the dehydrated onions, and cumin, maybe a dash of red pepper flakes or red pepper. You're going to get a mix of kind of Tex-Mex flavorings, and so that's what I was going for. This is going to be added just for some extra texture and flavor and some beans. Now, I don't have much left. Usually I put slightly more than what is in this container in this meal that I'm about to make. But either way, you don't. This is a completely flexible. This meal you can make with ramen noodles, seasoning, cheese, and mayo. That all will work, and it's well, it's a lot kind of like fatter and greasier, but I'm adding extra components, which I very much enjoy. So I'm going to do all this with a bowl. Now what I've noticed is since I got these wonderful glass containers, I just eat out of the glass containers. When you feed kids, which I do a lot, basically virtually all the time, every day I'm feeding kids, you learn that A, you don't like doing dishes, B, kids like to generate dirty dishes, and C, you don't want to be the thing that generates more dishes to have to deal with. And so A, B, and C equals eat from the pan. Okay, so I find myself eating from the pan a lot. So if I make a mac and cheese meal for my kids, then I put it on plates for them. The paper plates get thrown away, or put it in bowls. The bowls get clean. But what's left, I'm eating right out of the pan, because the pan has to get washed anyway, and then that's one less dish that I have to wash. And so in the case of these container dishes, I know I'm going to use this container dish later, and so I'm just going to go ahead and eat out of it now. When it gets cleaned, it'll be able to be used later. So I eat out of those. So we're going to have a small saucepan, and I'm going to add some sea salt and water, and then bring it to a boil. So while the water is heating up, I've added the burrito mix to the bowl, and then about half a cup of the cheddar. Cheddar, however much you want. If you want just a little, that's fine. It's going to add flavor and cheesiness to this mix. That I'm going to microwave for, depending on the amount, 2 to 3.5 minutes. Now I've got the ramen noodles stacked and ready to go into the water once it's boiling. You're going to boil it for about 3 minutes to 3.5 minutes. Making it easy to remember, I boil it for 3, 2, 1. So I hit 3, 2, 1 on the timer, and then it's ready. I've also got my iceberg lettuce ready. That's going to go on top. The hot bowl is ready with the cheese and the burrito mix. I also have a large wide spatula ready. I also sometimes use this flat wooden spatula. That's fine too. Smaller spatula. Any of those I'll use to drain the water from the ramen noodles. You don't want there to be much, if any, water in your ramen noodles. I don't recommend wasting a strainer for this. On that note, a lot of people use strainers when they don't have to. You can very easily drain the water from pasta or noodles or anything like that just using a wide spatula. And they make handheld strainers that are also easier to use, that take up less space and are easier to clean than your typical strainer, colander, hat, helmet, space helmet mechanism. Now, with mac and cheese, I'll do this because I'm putting cheese in the mixture and then mixing it in the pan. And that saves the strainer. I don't have to clean, and then I can eat it out of the pan. It cuts down on a couple of extra dishes. But a lot of times when we use a strainer, it's unnecessary. So if you have to rinse the pasta, you can rinse it in the pan and then strain it with a spatula or with a handheld strainer. One reason to use a colander or one of those big bowl strainers is if you're making a sauce in the same pan. So suppose I'm making the vegan macaroni and cheese that's completely homemade mix, no store-bought cheese. It's one of my vegan videos. It's a while back. It might be a year back. There's a day in my life, and I make this macaroni and cheese that my kids love. I also make it regularly, and it's super good with pasta. Of course, I'll use a colander for that, and then make the sauce in the same pan, and then put the pasta back into the pan from the strainer. So yeah, just to throw it out there, you don't always have to use a strainer. In this case, I'm using either the wooden spatula, small spatula. I've already used the large spatula yesterday to get a burrito out of my air fryer, and so it was already ready to use. On that note, some pasta, the flavors are actually, some of them come out in the water as it's cooking, and if you can leave a little bit of the water in with the pasta, you're going to get a little bit more flavor overall to the dish. So it's good to use a thicker sauce and then leave a tiny bit of water in certain pastas, especially if they're pastas that are made of lots of different things. Like if you find a pasta that's made of garbanzo beans or something like that, maybe its flavors will be better. Okay, my water's boiling, so I'm just going to put this in here. Okay, I'm going to set this for 3 minutes 21 seconds. While that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and add the mayonnaise. I'm going to add the hot salsa, and I'm going to top that with the shredded lettuce. And so once this is done in about a minute, I'm going to drain and then dump the ramen noodles right over top of it. And this dish is meant to be mixed up thoroughly with your spoon. And then you're going to do like a cutting motion to eat this. You're basically cutting pieces of it out with a spoon, and it's really super good. You'll see. So we're going to want to get our spatula, and we're going to want to just drain the water without losing the noodles. Use my scrubber. Of course, with macaroni, this is slightly harder. You're going to want to be slow and careful with your macaroni. The larger the pasta, the easier it is. I'm just going to do this until all of the water is drained from my ramen noodles. Okay, and then we're going to want to just dump this in here. There we go. Carefully. Make sure nothing's left. Now we're going to want to sort out the noodles. Just make sure you don't have anything hanging. Okay, and then you're going to, well, just to get a look at what you got here, this layer here, you just want to mix everything up until it's all one consistency. Getting your spoon and just picking up and folding and turning, stirring it all up. The mayonnaise and cheese and salsa, you'll know when it's worked in. And there we go. Now this is a great recipe for leftover chili, crumbles. It's just good with lots of different things. It's easy to make. You can go straight Italian with it and use some tomato sauce, maybe some chopped up vegan meatballs, some diced onions. You could also go Chinese with it and add some rice with some vegetables or some tofu. This is the Tex-Mex burrito variant of it, and it's extremely filling. It's really, really good, and it's quick and easy. Oh yeah, so to eat this, you'll find that you want to kind of find some here and then just kind of give it a little bit of a cut. And then you end up with this. Oh my God, it's so freaking good. It is delicious. And so I'm going to have my noodles with a big can of beer, and that's going to be my lunch.